Welcome to the studio. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So tonight I'm going to paint a picture of Zion National Park. It's been a long time since I've been to Zion, but it's a beautiful, wonderfully beautiful place to go if you've ever been there. And what we're painting tonight is one of my favorite spots. This is Angel's Landing. There's a trail that goes all the way out onto the end of this rock formation, and it's a harrowing trip all the way out there, sheer cliff on either side, but it was wonderful, fantastic to actually get there and see it and do it, and I can't wait to go back and do it again. Anyways, I'm using a travel kit of paint tonight. These are my Prima Watercolors. These are the tropical versions. I'm using Princeton Watercolor brushes. I have pre-drawn Angel's Landing on my travel watercolor notebook, and I have drawn it in ink. It's brown ink, brown Higgins ink. That's in my fountain pen. So I just sketched that on there. Okay, now that we've got all that out of the way, let's get to painting. I'm going to start with my sky. I'm going to take some of our blue color and mix it up here. I don't want to get it too wet, but just as wet as I need it to be. I'm going to throw on some blue. Here we go. I'm going to try and come just underneath the tops, to paint to just underneath the tops of the mountains here. I hope that came out right. What I want to do, and I'm going straight on the dry paper, and I'm going to add just as much water as I need to with my paintbrush as I'm going over that. There we go. And if I've got a couple of white spots in there, I'm not going to worry about it. When we're done, you can tell people that that's a cloud right there. Or you can tell them whatever you want to. I'm not going to worry about it too much. I've never worried too much about it. I think it just adds to the feel of the painting. And I don't think you should worry too much about it either. I'm just going to dab off a little bit of this paint where it's come through the top of the mountains. Now, I did tell you I'm going to paint just over the top of that. There we go. I'm going to call that good. I'm not the greatest at painting to a line but not over a line. And so sometimes I paint almost to the line and not quite to the line. So I'm going to add a heavier color over top of this anyways. So I'm just going to paint right on through that line, and we'll worry about it on the other side. Okay, so now I've got to wait just a second for this to dry so I don't get some bleeding up into there. If you've seen the rocks in Zion National Park, you know they're a wonderful, wonderful orangey brown. Let's see, I'm going to turn this around this way so I have these colors facing me. These wonderful orange, red, brown rocks. They're just fantastic. Much like the Grand Canyon. Everybody goes to the Grand Canyon. Not everybody, I don't think, goes to Zion National Park, but you really should. It's an unbelievable place. So what I'm mixing up here are the four colors I'm going to use in these rocks. I've got a little brown, a little yellow ochre, an orange, and some form of red. I wish I could be more specific. Prima doesn't give us names for the colors that they use. They just give us numbers. So I'm trying to guess on what these are, but I don't completely know. And I'm going to mix up a little bit of, let's see, this will be good, a little bit of a reddish gray mixture back here. Maybe I'm going to do that. I don't know. That looks good. I don't know what color that is exactly, but it looks kind of grayish. This hill in the back here, really, the peak of it, the top of it, really is pretty gray. So I'm going to start with that. I'm going to add just a touch of green to it as it comes over to this side, and everything else that we put on here is going to be our orangish reddish rocks. I do want these back here to be a little bit more subdued. These are on the far side of the valley, so they're going to be just that little bit not quite as intense a color. They're going to be just a little bit more muted, so we're going to make that color not quite as intense. There won't be quite so many details on everything over there. Okay, I'm going to let that sit and dry for a little bit. I'm going to come over here, and now this is actually, let me do the one way in the back there, because that one right here, this one is so far back in the back that I want to have it be pretty blue back there. There we go. Maybe even a purple like I've got there. That'll be fine with me. No real detail in that one, but it's back there nonetheless. There it is, just sitting in place. And now I'm going to start with these, and I'm just looking on the side to see what kind of a sheen I have on there. I don't want too much run out from these. I don't want what's in this I'm going to put in Angel's Landing here to bleed through too much, nor over here by Refrigerator Canyon. But I think I can start on the sides over here. And I'm going to do what's back behind here first. Get a little bit of our ochre on here. There we go. And like I said, these colors are just the craziest colors of rocks that you can believe. They're just oranges and reds and yellows and browns. It's unbelievable, the different colors that these are. And they're all, when you look at them, the way the rocks lay, they're all cantered on crazy angles because the ground has been heaved up in these big slabs of rock. Really, the tectonic plates, I guess, really have been pushed up and moved, and you can see all of the layers in them. It's unbelievable. I don't know how many, I guess I don't know how many times I can say unbelievable. It seems like quite a few. All right, I'm going to dab on some colors here. I'm going to make this a little bit brighter in through here. This is Angel's Landing. This is what I want to be the focus of our painting. So the colors here have to be a little bit brighter than everywhere else. There we go, right on down. Mix a little bit of red in with that orange. That's a good color. And if you're mixing your colors like this, at some point you think, ooh, that's not exactly the color I want. Well, we can take it back off a little bit, or we can add a little bit of a different color and get that in there. That won't be a big deal. I'm just going to drop a little bit of green in here. Our color back there is still just a little bit wet, so I'm going to get a little bit of green in our valley there. And while we're wet, I'm going to get a little bit up here on this line. There's some trees growing up there too, and that's still way back in the back, so it's totally out of focus. We don't need to worry about getting anything in great detail. Forgot what I was saying. I was painting these shrubbery along this pathway here, and I forgot what I was saying. But we don't need to paint anything in great detail that's not right where we want to be at, where we want the focus to be at. But everywhere we want our focus, we got to put in a little bit more detail. But not necessarily detail. Don't think detail is you going in with a finer brush and doing more brush work. That's not necessarily what we're talking about. It could just be dabbing your paint a few more times right on where we're at. You know, it could be mixing a few extra colors of paint, something, anything to break up what we're doing there. Here we go. So these rocks are going to come right on over, right down there. There we go. And I've got this path, which I've been on a number of times here. Might have got that a little too dark at the top. I'm not going to worry about it. There we go. They've got chains along this path instead of a railing, and you grab onto that chain and you pull yourself along the side of this hill, holding onto that chain for dear life to make sure that you're not going to fall off the side of this mountain. It's just unbelievable. Every time I go there, or every time I've been there and have gone up this mountain, I just keep thinking, how come there aren't so many people that have fallen off of this? How is it that we have a park that's got just these crazy pathways on it going around this, and we don't hear about any accidents up there or anything? I mean, I'm glad. I'm not looking forward to anybody getting hurt, but I just keep thinking, holy cow, how is that even possible? So what I'm doing now is I'm taking my light green, I've mixed in just a dab of a little bit darker green, and I'm going and I'm putting in, and I know it's still wet, I'm just dabbing in a little bit of green. You know, there's a fair amount of green that grows on the side of this hill, and so I want to just portray a little bit of it here. It doesn't need to be a lot, it doesn't need to be in any great detail, but there needs to be some there to set off exactly what we're doing. So I'm just going to touch a few places here and call it good. There we go. And now I'm going to mix up a little bit of my brown mixture and orange. There we go. It's just a little darker orangey brown mixture, and I'm going to add in, I'm just going to take the brush and pull down, give it a little wiggle here and there. I might add a little too much paint on the brush there. We can fix that. And that's going to be, there we go, that's going to be our texture. These are going to be crevices in this rock wall when we do that. Just add a few lines here and there. It's going to give a lot of texture. If you don't like, if you do it and it's pretty linear and you don't like that, you can dip your brush, get just about all of the water off of it, and just dab back over top of that area. And it will totally just mute that line out. You'll still end up with a fair bit of texture, but it won't be quite so in your face about it. Right, I'm just doing a little bit of texture on the rock back here. Right, I'm not necessarily going in any line. I'm not trying to follow exactly what the rock does. I'm just trying to get the indication of some crevices and cracks and whatnot back here, because I know they're there. I know they're there somewhere. I've seen them. Everybody who's hiked this trail has seen them. There we go, and a little bit of dark back there. Something like that. I'm just kind of scrumbling with my brush at this point. Just to add some texture to what we're doing. And there we go. I think that is pretty good. If I do any more with this, it's just going to be fussing with it. It would totally just be working and working and overworking, and I don't want to overwork this. I kind of like what we've got going on here. Just a nice relaxing scene out here of Angel's Landing. I'm gonna stop. I'm totally gonna stop right there. Watch, I gotta put my brush down before I do anything else. And that's it. There we go. A quick, easy painting of Zion National Park. This is Angel's Landing. That's it. I hope you enjoy the painting. I enjoyed having you here. I loved sitting down and talking with you this evening. If you do like the video, give a like down in that corner, I believe, and subscribe to my channel. I would love to paint with you again sometime. Thanks so much. We'll see you later. All right. Bye-bye.